Man stood at the window, frantically throwing handfuls of cash down below. He deliberately caused a commotion among the crowd gathering below. However, he wasn't doing this because he despised money, but to help create a diversion for his brother. His brother was in the middle of a heist in the building across the street. As everyone's attention focused on Thomas, his brother on the opposite rooftop quickly sprung into action. First, he arranged the bomb's fuse in a circular pattern, then placed a steel plate underneath the fuse, drilled a small hole in the center of the steel plate, placed the explosive device through the hole, and finally covered the steel plate with a mattress. Once all preparations were complete, it was time for Thomas's spectacular performance. Everyone thought Thomas was going to jump, but that wasn't the case at all. Thomas's actions were actually meant to use the screams from below to mask the explosion from the building across the street. Sure enough, the crowd below remained unaware of the explosion that had just occurred on the opposite building's roof. By then, his brother had already used the blast hole to successfully infiltrate the Diamond Building. He bent the ventilation fan blades and crawled through. Then Jack entered the administrator's password, making the elevator run to the top floor. They then used ropes to infiltrate the floor with the Diamond Vault. Next, they had to pass through the surveillance zone. Jack lay flat on a skateboard, covered with camouflage fabric matching the floor color. Meanwhile, the security staff was focused on the news about Thomas's apparent suicide attempt, completely unaware of someone passing behind them. Once Jack reached the surveillance blind spot, he photographed the camera's view, printed the photos and attached them to pre-prepared mounting brackets, placing them in front of the cameras to simulate real-time footage. But soon they encountered another problem. New sensors had been installed in the corridor. Both men froze in their tracks. These sensors weren't part of their plan. Jack had no choice but to ask Thomas for help, but with negotiator Leah right in front of him,